Ladies, gentlemen, it's Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Live from New York City, it's the Fantasy Baseball Show. Where we got updates, highlights, and breaking news of the Fantasy League, ladies and gentlemen. I'm DJ Murder, and we got a great show. Of course, we got a great show. I'm back on the winning track. We got some probable starters, waiver wire action, a little bit about the New York Yankees, the last talks for the New York Knicks. We got a good show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start straight into the scoreboards for matchup week 10. DJ Murder beats the CPU team 20-8. How did I get it done? Well, I tell you, Robert Hassel, the third, he goes 9 for 27 this week or last week. Hunter Brown, 12 innings, 1 earned run. That was a mistake pitch home run. He had 13 Ks, 2 Ws. With that being said, I'm back in the New York groove, ladies and gentlemen. Analytical beats the Juan Robinson 18-12. Heliot Ramos, he goes 9 for 21. And the CPU team has more guts than their previous owners. I can't even give him the credit of saying his name, but they take the week 18-12. Analytics against Pedro's perfect team. That was the matchup of the week. Two heavyweights, Baez, Athletic. The KD Jones, he takes the week 17-12. Jackson Trujillo goes 10 for 28. Bo Bichette, one of my favorite baseball players, 3 home runs. And of course, the Aaron Judge, 5 walks, 3 home runs. The KD Jones is a dangerous man in fantasy. I think that's a proven fact, and he has to be looked out for. Confidence is key. Wins again. He beats Chase team 26-6. For confidence is key, Jose Ramirez goes 11 for 23, 2 home runs. Also, Kyle Riley, arguably the best catcher in the league, 6 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a stolen base. Michael Harris, the second, he goes 8 for 24 with 7 singles, a double. Flamber Valdez, complete game to lead an impressive pitching week performance by confidence is key. You're not going to lose when your team performs like that. Then we got the best GM in the city. Continues his impressive career to the fantasy league. He beats OnlyFans 23-6. Junior Caminero. He goes. He was featured. He's been featured in a lot of the shows. If you guys watch it, you already know who's Junior Caminero. 11 for 29, 4 home runs. Look at the previous videos. We've been featuring him. Nick Martinez. He pitches 11 2/3, 8 earned runs. But he got a quality start. He looked bad this week. A well-known featured player of the show. Rooted for him. I like him. But if you was affected by that outing against the Cubs, I mean, what you doing? Why would you start your pitchers against the Cubs? But nonetheless, the best GM continues to impress. He's in first place in his division, and he takes this week 23-6 against OnlyFans. Speaking of OnlyFans, this is the last week for OnlyFans. The last week that he's going to be given the opportunity to reach his limits, the required limits, or that team will become a CPU squad starting next week. And talking about CPU teams, that new feature that ESPN has is actually going well. They're putting out competitive teams day in and day out. So we'll give OnlyFans this week to see if he goes into his office, he makes minimum innings pitch. I don't know. Stay tuned. Drosky had a very good week, but it wasn't good enough. He still has a very strong team, but he ran into Analytics. They both had tremendous weeks. Congratulations to the winners for week 10. Looking ahead to week 11, it looks like it's gonna be some nice matchups. That fantasy chat is gonna be spicy. We got Juan Robinson against Drosky. Chase team looking to bounce back against Analytical, the matchup of the Bronx. Then we got the CPU going against Analytics, first place in the other division. And then OnlyFans goes against Confidence is Key. Confidence is Key is looking to make it 3 in a row. He's at the slow start. He's been picking it up. He he pledges that he just wants to get better every week, every day, get better and get better. We'll keep an eye on those matchups. Of course, we will definitely have a show next week with the final scores. Some add and drops that happened this week. We are going to start with the Los Angeles Angels left fielder Taylor Ward. He got picked up. He's batting .217 with 16 jacks, 38 RBIs. He was picked up by Confidence is Key. Keep an eye on that. Taj Bradley, what a pickup. He pitched a gem. I think 7 innings, 11 Ks, something like that. The Tampa Bay Rays starting pitcher. He was picked up, I guess, for a streamer day. He was picked up by Analytics. Jacob Melton from the Houston Astros, center fielder, left and right fielder. That's why they got him eligible for on ESPN. He just made his season debut. He went 1 for 3. He looks like he's going to be a prospect. He's batting 8th for the Houston Astros, I believe. Keep an eye on that. Ryan Weathers from the Miami Marlins, starting pitcher. He was picked up by Che. He was picked up by Che for like a late streamer, but he wasn't able to put him on the roster. Shout out to Che. Although he didn't make minimums in these pitch, things happen. Life gets in the way, but communication is key. You communicate with the commissioner, the co-commissioner. The messages get relayed to the powers that be, and your team would not be put in the bot squad. That's all we're asking for. I know life gets in the way, but week in, week out, not paying attention, that's not gonna work. Congratulations. I know Che Laws, but big shout out to that man. He's put in an effort. Spencer Schwellenbach, he got picked up by Boo Boo. He has a 3 ERA, 4-4 record. He's the Atlanta Braves starting pitcher. He's owned in 91.8% on ESPN leagues. Keep an eye on that. Also, Christian Walker, the first baseman for Houston Astros. He gets picked up by Pedro's perfect team. He's batting .211 with 7 jacks. It's a little questionable pickup, but I guess that squad is desperate for a first baseman. I mean, I do got Pete Polar Bear Alonso on the block. If you really need a good first baseman, just send that trade. You know where I'm at. That's the scoreboards last week. This upcoming week, we are going to take a little break for station identification. This is not WFAN 660. This is not 880 ESPN New York. This is the Fantasy League on YouTube. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. The Fantasy Baseball Show is presented by Property Management Group Company. If you're tired of your uncle sleeping the couch to couch, Property Management Group Company. Let's talk some probable starters for the week. Starting with Brady Singer, the Cincinnati Reds. He is going against Milwaukee on Monday. Has a 4.6 ERA, 6-3 record. It should be a good matchup there. Followed by Lance McCullers Jr. versus Pittsburgh on Tuesday. McCullers has a 5.8 ERA, but that's a favorable matchup for him on Tuesday against Pittsburgh. Carl Quantrill, he is the starting pitcher for the Miami Marlins. He will be facing against Colorado Rockies on Wednesday. He has a 5.8 ERA. Pretty high, but you guys know how I feel about the Rockies. On Thursday, Chris Bassett from the Toronto Blue Jays facing the Philadelphia Phillies. Is a little strange that I put him as a probable starter this week, given that he's going against the Philadelphia Phillies. But it's a nice matchup for him. I think he bounces back. I think Toronto wins that game on Thursday. J.P. Sears from the Athletics. He will be going against Baltimore on Friday. Those are the probable starters for the week. Again, Brady Singer Monday, Lance McCullers Jr. on Tuesday, Carl Quantrill on Wednesday, Chris Bassett for Thursday, and on Friday, going into the weekend, I like J.P. Sears, the probable starters, ladies and gentlemen. So the New York Yankees, they avoid being swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Growing up, whoever won last has bragging rights. Whoever was able to get that last W in my household, at least, growing up with 1,000 brothers, very competitive household. We was pretty much owned by the bigger brother. But if you was able to win last, there's a lot of times that you win one game and that's it. You don't want to play anymore because you want to have that last dub, that last win. Same thing with the Yankees. It wasn't a pretty weekend, but they was able to take that last dub, that last game in Los Angeles, and fly back to New York. They off today, but they got Cleveland, a series against Cleveland starting tomorrow. Then the Boston Red Sox going into the weekend. Aaron Judge, I know he went 0 for yesterday, but what a weekend he had. We lucky to have that man wearing pinstripes. That's what I have to say about that. And a big congratulations to the New York Knicks. Wasn't able to, reach the end goal, but what a hell of a season. Went further than 99.9 experts anticipated. I understand we wanted them to go to the championship and hopefully, put up a fight over there against OKC. But what they did for the city, we can't take for granted. My good friends at Earn Your Leisure, they mentioned in their podcast or Instagram that Knicks playoff run generated almost $900 million for New York City. Again, I know we wanted them to win. We wanted them to go to the championship and perhaps make history. But we can't take for granted what they do for the city. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. Let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen. The Fantasy Baseball Show is presented by Property Management Group Company. If you're tired of your uncle sleeping the couch to couch, Property Management Group Company. We back, ladies and gentlemen. You got the scoreboards, the waiver wire action, the probable starters. You got some Yankee talks and the Knicks talk. But before I park the show, I want to give a shout out to Kendall Jones, aka KD Jones, and Carlos Suarez, along with the rest of the MLB Develops family. They will be on the road at Vero Beach, Florida, starting today, I believe. They're looking for the next generation of talented MLB players. The next generation of MLB players, ladies and gentlemen. Think about what I'm saying, guys. A pipeline that our kids are not only being developed, not only being introduced and connected to the baseball world, ladies and gentlemen, but they are being loved. They put eyes on the baseball talent and are committed to pouring out critical information and knowledge to our kids around the country. They provide a once-in-a-lifetime experience at the Jackie Robinson Complex facility, where these kids, they're trained at a professional level. They are mentored by loving individuals and coached by the best coaches like Jerry Manuel. A huge thank you and shout out to that organization, the MLB Develops organization, for what they do. As always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to take care of yourself, take care of each other. I'm DJ Murder, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, this is the Fantasy Baseball Show.